So now that we've learned how to write numbers in their different equivalent forms, for example, decimals to fractions, fractions to decimals, decimals to percents, percents to fractions, and back and forth, we now need to be able to compare and order those three different forms of numbers. We need to be able to compare and order a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. One of the easiest ways is to compare them by writing them all as decimals. Now what we have listed here is we have some of the easy percents that I've talked about. You know some of the super easy ones, like 1/2 is 0.5, 1/4 is 0.25. Some of the slightly harder ones are written here. 1/5 is 0.2 or 20%. 2/5 is 0.4 or 40%, and so on. I don't think the eighths are really easy. Those are not what I would call easy fractions. However, 1/8, if you want to memorize it, is 0.125 or 12.5%. 1/3 is 0.3333 repetitive, so that's 33% about. 2/3 is about 0.6 repetitive. So what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to compare fraction, a decimal, a percent, using this strategy of changing them both to decimals, whether they're easy fractions or whatever. Here we have 3/4 and 0.7. Well, 0.7 is already in decimal form, and we know that 3/4, that's an easy one. That's 3/4. And you probably know what 3/4 looks like as a decimal. For those of you that don't remember, 3/4, if I write it out of 100 as an equivalent fraction, I know 4 times 25 is 100, and 3 times 25 is 75. So this is 0.75, or 7/500. And that is just a little bit bigger than 0.7, which is the same thing as 0.70. So 3/4 is greater. Okay? Take a look at this real life example here. Lucida made 85% of her free throws. Henry made 7/8 of his free throws. Who has the better average? So to figure out who has a better average here, we're going to have to use the strategy of changing them both to decimals. We can't really tell just by looking at them. So we're going to change them both to decimals. Changing a percent to a decimal is a piece of cake. Remember, you just move the decimal back 2 times, or it's like dividing by 100. So this is 0.85. Now 7/8. 7/8 is what I would call a harder fraction. So in this case, if you don't know what it is, you're going to have to divide 7 by 8. Add a decimal point, a 0. 8 doesn't go into 7, but it goes into 70 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64. Got a remainder of 6. If I add another 0 and bring it down, 8 goes into 67 times, because 7 times 8 is 56. And even at this point, if I don't keep going, I can already tell this is going to be bigger. This is 0.87 something, and that's going to be greater than 0.85. So 85% is less than 7/8, which means that Henry has a better average. Henry has 0.87 or 87%. Lucida has 85%. If you were to continue this, I know some of you are probably curious, you see that it terminates right here. 8 goes into 45 times. Once you have a remainder of 0, you're finished. This is what we would call a terminating decimal. Let's take a look at another one. In this example, we're going to be comparing 3 different numbers. We have a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. Let's take a look. It was school carnival attendance. 6th grade had 5/8 of the kids attending. 7th grade has 0.5 of the kids attending. And 8th grade has 58.3% of the kids attending. So it says here to try to figure out which grade has the greatest by ordering the numbers from least to greatest. So let's write these out here. We got 5/8, 0.5, and 58.3%. Remember the strategy we're talking about here is changing them all to decimals, so then we can compare the decimal form. This is already a decimal. This is a pretty easy one to change to a decimal. That would be moving a decimal back 2 times, so that's 0.583, and this obviously is 0.5 or 0.50 or 0.500. This one we're going to have to divide. So right here, 5 divided by 8. Pop in my 0, my decimal here. 8 into 50, that would be 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48, with a remainder of 2. I bring down another 0. 8 goes into 22 times. I'm going to pause right here because I notice, look, this is already greater than both of these. This is 0.6, this is 0.5, and this is 0.5. So we can already tell that this is going to be 0.62 something. This is our greatest number. And this was the 6th grade. The 6th grade then has the greatest part of the class attending the carnival. So my answer would be the 6th grade group has the greatest number of kids or part of the class attending the carnival. All right, I would like you to try one problem after you've made sure you've copied all of these notes, and then we'll go over it. So pause the video and try this problem here. I will read it to you. I know it may be hard to see on your video. It says, Hiroshi found that 3/5 of his class prefers vanilla ice cream, 26% prefer chocolate, and 0.14 prefers strawberry. Which kind of ice cream do students prefer the least? Okay, let's go over this one. So we're really comparing 3/5, 26%, and 0.14. Let's change them all to decimals. Hopefully you've already done that. And so this as a decimal would be 0.26. This is obviously already a decimal, 0.14. We can already see that this is smaller than this. So far this was, we probably should write the ice cream. This was strawberry, this is vanilla, and this is chocolate. So we can already tell, so far, it seems like strawberry is the least favorite. So let's take a look at 3/5. I know this one, this is an easy fraction. 3/5 is equal to 6/10, and that is a 0.6 as a decimal. So I can see that's actually, if we had a 0, you can see that's the favorite. That vanilla would be what most kids prefer, then chocolate, and it looks like our least favorite is strawberry. So our answer here would be strawberry is the least favorite ice cream. Bring all your notes and this example tomorrow so I can see that you've watched the video, and I'll see you then.